So from my understanding, and this is from the community standpoint, he was an asshole. Community came up to me and just started telling me about how his interactions used to be with them. From he used to mow his lawn, drinking beer with his gun on his side. He used to come over to the park and talk trash because his building was right across the street from the park where they hung out. Him and a partner pulled up in a detective car. And he said, y'all need to keep that fucking noise down. Y'all ain't gonna be satisfied till a nigga get killed around him. That was like 2 days later. And it's the story on TV. 22-year-old woman shot in the head. So I kept seeing it, every channel. I'm like, Rikia 22. My sister got shot.
We have every right to be out here. We did not bother y'all.
We're live in Ferguson, Missouri tonight.
This tragic death has exposed so many fault lines in American society.
See the man there, jogging down the road. The killing has sparked protests and demands for arrests.
Say their name. Say their name.
Justice was not given in this case, and that we've got to correct it.
You guys see that shooting that happened 2 days ago? Because don't worry, if you missed it, there was another one yesterday.
Police
2
shooting
videos.
Death of a black man inside his own apartment in Dallas.
Incident after incident, year after year.
Hands up!
When news flashes past and the trauma remains. Whose story? What story? Her story.
He wasn't no criminal. My baby was a good man, good hard.
Hashtags through his story. The story again the same. Until justice and truth obtained, we will always say their name.
I'm Chris Colbert. Thanks for tuning in to Say Their Name, brought to you by DCP Entertainment. This series takes a deeper look into the impact of the assault and killing of Black people by the police and in stand-your-ground states. We share the stories from families who have been negatively impacted in these situations. We did not talk to officers or to governing bodies, just the families and their support systems. We are not the court of law, nor do we try to be for legal purposes. We are not here to presume guilt or innocence for anyone, because, quite frankly, we do not want to be sued. We simply want to give the families a voice while examining what happens when the hashtags stop, and the news, unfortunately, moves on to the next big story. All we want to do is give the families the opportunity to control their narrative and share ways we can all help. Warning. Some of the discussions may be particularly disturbing and even emotionally overwhelming at times. When one of those moments occur that may be particularly triggering, you will hear this chime. For more specific details on the timing of these moments, please visit our show notes. On this episode of Say Their Name, we focus on Rekia Boyd. I'm Chris, and welcome back to Say Their Name. As always, I'm with my co-host, Adele.
Hey, Chris.
So we're staying in Chicago as we just wrapped up our episodes around Betty Jones, and now we're going to get into the life of Rekia Boyd and what happened to her, and also that ongoing journey for justice for her and her family. So we're going to hear a few different voices within these episodes, but one of those voices is one that you actually heard during the Betty Jones episodes, and that's Krista Noel, who is the founder of Women's All Points Bulletin. And her work dates back to before 2014, but particularly in 2014, she actually went with the UN to Geneva, Switzerland, to be able to try to push for more work being done and more focus being paid to women impacted by police violence. And that work is actually what helped to spur the Say Her Name movement, which began in December of 2014. So we're really fortunate to be able to have such a powerful voice in these episodes. And, you know, Adele, you are somebody who goes to Chicago on a regular basis. You have family in Chicago. You know, what was it like being in there? You were there for a few weeks. Like, what was it like to be able to tell these stories and, you know, in such an authentic way?
It was very unique. You know, I would say my whole summer was pretty much spent in Chicago, and usually it's, you know, sightseeing and having time with the family. But I think that this was probably the most life-changing and enriching experiences for me. You know, especially having some one-on-one time in this situation of talking with Martinez, Rikia's older brother. What I love about our series is that we dig deeper and we sit in the space of the families. And it's just very different to be able to occupy their space and be trusted by them and feel the energy in their room as they're talking. You know, when they're laughing, we're laughing. When they're crying, I want to cry. You know, it's just very, very undescribable, but also like super emotional and very impactful. And I'm hoping that's translated through what we were able to capture from these families.
From a personal level, like we heard in last episodes about how dangerous Chicago can be just, you know, amongst the residents there, not even factoring in the police. But then when you factor in the police, that adds in a new danger. So was there conversations that you had with people out there of like, who's more dangerous, the gangs in Chicago or the police in Chicago?
It's ironic. We actually talked a little bit about that with Martinez because, you know, initially in trying to track him down because he's very active on behalf of his sister, you know, and he's also a mentor and he runs some organizations, football coach, a little bit of everything, you know, very involved in the community, and he does music. And, you know, he was kind of going through some things before we sat with him because, you know, one of his young mentees had just lost their lives to gun violence in Chicago. And, you know, he kind of equated the two, you know, like you have certain parts of Chicago, like certain pockets that are really bad that, you know, you don't want to go into, but then you also don't want to have encounters with the police. It's like you're running from two gangs, so to say.
Yeah, and Martinez, like you said, he wears so many different hats, but he now like has a really unique job given what he's been through.
He actually works at the University of Chicago Medical Center. He works as a violence recovery specialist. What he does is see those patients that have been impacted and injured by violent situations, and it's a lot of trauma. And unfortunately, some people come in there having already lost their lives. He sees a lot of cases, some even similar to, you know, what he experienced in losing his sister. It's really interesting that, you know, he does that because he's with them, families, talking to them, trying to emotionally support them. When victims come in, he's a listening ear. He talks to them because recovery is not just a physical thing, it's a mental thing. And he provides an emotional space for them. And it's just so admirable for him to do that and having lost his sister, you know, in a violent way and is still giving back to those who are suffering to similar violence. It was just shocking, honestly, to hear, but admirable at the same time.
It's almost like he's opening himself up to more trauma to help to relieve others' trauma, which not saying for anybody to go do that, but yeah, for Martinez to do that is just,
right.
That's incredible. Yeah, let's hear from Martinez. Let's hear about Rekia Boyd.
My name is Martinez Sutton. I'm the brother of Rikia Boyd from Chicago, Illinois. I write anything from poetry to music, to just taking a drive. You know, music is it's my outlet, you know, an outlet for the soul to where like some of the deepest, darkest, and even sometimes some of the lightest things, you're able to just get off your soul and just refresh yourself. Sometimes I'm not able to fully speak about my situations, but I'd rather like put it in a song to like, you know, let people feel it, hear it, not only the beats, but definitely the words. So, you know, much love, respect, many blessings. So it was 6 of us. We was the Black Brady Bunch. You know, we was raised by a mom, born in St. Louis. And we probably moved to Chicago when I was about 3 or 4. I'm like the middle child. So it was Rikia, which she's the baby, as she always told everybody, I'm the baby. Rikia was born in Chicago. I want to say half of my siblings was born in Chicago, half was born in St. Louis. So my 2 oldest brothers and sisters, Cortez and Kenyatta, was born in Chicago. And then I guess my mom moved to St. Louis, met my dad. So the next 3 was born in St. Louis. And then like my mom left my dad and Rikia was born in Chicago. So it was like a back and forth. You know, the crazy part is, I don't even remember my mama pregnant. I just remember Rikia was a baby and she was the brightest of us all. And what I mean by that is Rikia was light bright, you know? It's like we all come in different shades. Like 3 of us, a chocolate, and then you got the the Manila. Not even quite light skin. You kind of like caramel, like a little light shade of caramel. Then Rikia just came out as a light bulb. So it's like we went from dark to light, or a light to dark, back to a bright light. So Rikia, she was like a gray spark. She provided that. Rikia won't buy some of everything. It depends on what crowds he was dealing with. Rikia, it went to Kiki to. She had a nickname, Strawberry. Don't know where it came from. She had aunties used to call her Rocky. It all depends. She had multiple nicknames. I just used to call her Rikia. We grew up on the south side of Chicago, on 62nd and Cottage Grove in Chicago, Illinois. And that's where we lived at for it was for a while. I say about 11, 12 years. And loved it. My favorite memories with Rikia can vary. Like when she was young, 11 Color was out. So kids, they imitate what they see. One of the Living Colors episodes where they was rapping and making fun of some of the singers and stuff. So they did J.J. Walker. I need to make a comeback. I ain't been here for years and doing that and cutting these big ass lips. So that was Rikia's favorite part. So she'd just be singing and she'd be like, cutting these big ass lips. It was like, Rikia, So it was like that right there, bringing joy. I'm telling her, don't put her head in between the chest. She do it anyway. Head gets stuck. It's like, or just being around, like, Rikia always wanted to, hang out with my cousins, lived across the street. They'll be spying on me, seeing what kind of girl I'm talking to or something like that. So that's running. Like, she just had her own little games that she used to play. In our community, we had a lot of family on the block. So it's like we was already known. But then it's like, okay, me, my oldest sister and my oldest brother, they stayed with their grandma, for a while. She wanted to help take care of them. They had different dads from us. So they used to stay out in Country Club Hills and come out on the weekend sometime. So I had to be big brother. So of course, what comes along with that, you gotta fight sometimes, lay down, you gotta lay bodies down for a minute. So it's like anybody bothered, my brothers or sisters, I'm going at your head. I'm the coolest, calmest guy you can meet. But it was like when it came to family, the ones that I love, that was like my turning point. That was like that trigger. Like you just be like, oh man. So it's like a lot of the people knew about that. And like I fought a few folks over there and they was like, okay, he's serious. He's not a fluke. Anytime like my brother or my sister wasn't doing something right, I'm gonna tell your brother on you. So people be like, yo, I just seen your sister or I just did this. So I had other people, I didn't tell them to look out for them, but they, out of respect, they looked out for my people. So we was loved on the block. We loved it. A lot of people used to say it was bad around there, but to us, it's home. We're like, what is bad? Like, it was like we playing ball or we freeze tag or just create games. Yeah, you hit a couple of shots, we dug, we run, then 3 minutes later, we was back. Because it's like, ooh, what was that? You heard the shots, pow, pow, pow. And you a kid, you like, I was like, and you show your little running motion, how you dug, like, I was like this, and no, I was like, whoa, I was like this, a bullet came by me, and I slapped it. Kids just come up with like those overactive imaginations. So yeah, we grew up down the way on 62nd and Cottage, not far from the hospital. It was like, I don't know, it's like a great childhood. Mm-hmm. We all had our own little separate groups of friends, but when it was time to come together, we always came together. Came together to eat, came together to go out, came together to go to family house or whatever. It was pretty cool. So I got love for Chicago and St. Louis. I don't call it my first and second home. They both my home. One is a home away from home. It all depends on where I'm at. Every summer or every spring, like spring vacation, winter vacation, summer break, we always in St. Louis. So I say and at that time, summer vacation was like 3 months. So I say we was in St. Louis possibly about four and a half months out the year. Because we spent the whole 3 months down there. Mom was like, hey, if you don't have a job, you got to go down there with your daddy. So, I need a little bit of peace. We started going down there. And I actually, I started working at about 10 years old, going out at 4:30 in the morning, throwing papers at people's porches. Me and my friends would come by, Martinez, 4:30 in the morning, go out, go around the corner to the paper route, fold my papers, be out there. I was happy going to school, 5th grade, got a pocket full of ones. I'm straight.
Right.
Butter cookies on me all around.
While Martinez worked and went to school, Rikia took her own path.
Rikia went to Job Corps. I don't know if she finished high school. I don't think she finished high school. She went to Job Corps in order to finish high school because they brought out a program where you can finish your high school diploma or get your GED. So Rikia wanted to also get into nurses. So it was like a 2-in-1. All right, we can knock out your diploma and we can get you in this CNA program so they can get you into this nursing program or whatever. So that was the plan. That was the goal. And she met like a few friends there at Job Corps. Unfortunately, she didn't get to finish Job Corps. She had to wait because due to Rikia's spirit, good energy draws bad energy. She got into a fight, which they said on camera she didn't start it, but Rikia had to protect herself. And due to it, they kicked her out for a year. Even though they said it's not her fault, but since she fought back, she got kicked out. I say, how that work? So you expect somebody to get their ass kicked, and so I could stay here. My eye swollen, lip busted. I can't walk, but guess what? I'm still here. That don't mean nothing if I can't write or I can't see. Even what I'm doing, I still gotta heal. She did what she had to do, but she still ended up finishing her GED up. She was always determined. Like when we got older and started traveling more, like one time she snuck in the back of the truck. Like I already loaded up the luggage there thing, and nobody sits in the third row, So I think we was like already on the expressway, probably like 30 minutes away from the house. She just pop up like, yeah, y'all thought y'all could leave me. Music blasting. Ain't nobody look back there. Like my brother, he in the back. You just couldn't do this. We all would have got. Like, yeah, so she just used to do things like that.
Though there were 6 siblings, as they grew older, Martinez and Rikia developed a unique relationship.
It was like that all-around love. I say I love all of us. Rikia was the one to say, I love you, I miss you, or come and try to kiss you on your cheek, or hug you. Like, she was the affectionate one. And she wasn't scared to show it. Like, me, myself, I didn't say I love you a lot. I loved you. I took up for my brothers and sisters. They knew, hey, nah, that's Martinez people. Don't mess with them. But I didn't say like, all right, I love you, sis, or I love you, at an early age, because it's like when you're not around it, you don't really say it, as much. Like it wasn't really said to me. Mom was at work, daddy in St. Louis. I'm out on the streets. So it's like you learn it from other teenagers or other kids your age, and you don't be outside talking about, I love you, man. You know what I'm saying? I love you. You know what I'm saying? And they'll be like, I love you too, boy. I see you tomorrow. Nah, you don't, it's just like we just out there talking about bingo, that's my car, and, playing ball or whatever. So, but Rikia, I just feel like she was an angel sent to us because she always said it. I love you. I miss y'all, or as her slogan, hey y'all, and mess with some of you, hey girl, I love y'all, love you. That was just her thing. So Rikia, by her being the youngest, mom at work or something, or if she was outside, Rikia always listened to me. Go do this or go do that. Or she'll be like, as Rikia told me, you my daddy. I don't have a daddy. You my daddy. So it was like one of those. So that's how she treated me. She probably didn't like everything that I said to her, but she knew that I was saying things because I was looking out for you. I loved you. and had to make sure you was okay. Everybody else, she probably treated like, she treated like brother and sister. But when it came to me, it's like, oh yeah, you pops. She said, I ain't never had a daddy. My daddy was never around. She knew her daddy, but he wasn't around. She did put us in different boxes. Like me, I'm the middle child. So I was the daddy out the group. There you go. So I love to have fun, but I took things serious also. I loved you and had to make sure you was okay. She was always over Kenyatta house. She'd go visit Cortez. She'd go visit Tasha. She spread around her love. I don't think she was just closer to anyone, but the kid stayed with me, but she was always visiting other people's houses. So when I moved, my mom, she fell ill actually. So my mom, she has Crohn's. Sometimes she had like really bad Crohn pains. And when she go through that, she'd be on the floor sometimes. So it'd be days I go to my mom's house, my mom's apartment, and I find her on the floor. I have to pick her up off the floor, call the ambulance and things like that. So the doctor told her, well, you can no longer stay by yourself. You got to stay with somebody. Who she stayed with? She picked me. Because I'm always fussing and making sure everybody do it right. So she knew like I was going to stay on her to make sure like she's eating right, she's taking her medication, and like that she's doing well. So along with that came Rikia. Rikia, she'll go out, she'll spend a night out, but she always phone me and be like, hey, bro, I'm at Ika house, which was her friend that was with her when she got killed. Or I'm at Raquel house. Or, bro, I'm spending the night over here. I'll be here in the morning. Me and Rikia, I know I said that, she looked at me as her dad or whatever. But we actually got, like, much closer as time went on. She used to always come up to my room every morning. I had, like, a lazy boy chair next to my bed. And she'd come knock on my door. She just be like, hey, bro, what's up, bro? What's up, big bro? Martinez. They'd just break my name down. Hey, Martinez, you sleep? And she'd come sit in the chair. We'll talk for about an hour or so. And then after that, she'd be like, all right, bro, I'm finna go. Why? Sure, I'm finna go do this. Or I'm finna go to so-and-so house. Like I started looking forward to that every morning because it was like a change, a different pace. And I finally realized I didn't have to be so hard and strict on her no more. My little sister is growing up. You know what I mean? I didn't have to be hard on her. I'm like, yo, we in a safer environment. I ain't got to worry about her going out here, getting hurt by these people out here. We good because we ended up moving from Chicago to like, I think we was in Dalton at the time. And I always say the nice side of Dalton because you got a mean side too. So we was on the nice side of Dalton, on a nice neighborhood. Like the block was just seniors, mostly seniors. And one crazy white guy that we lived next door to. Like he ain't like for you to park past this house. Like this is my space, So it was like Clint Eastwood. That's what he looked like. He used to come out and bother my sister. Like anytime she parked with her van, my other sister, she'd come over. They'd be like, no, this is my space. But he only had one car out there. Like, come on, stop it. You just stop it right now, sir. Rikia, she'd go out, she'd spend a night out, but she always phoned me. She had a boyfriend at the time. Hey, I'm at Chris' house. I'll be home in the morning. And I'd be like, okay, cool. Love you, bro. Like, I love you too. So she'll hit me up and let me know what she was at for. But she had been arrested once. And I believe it was for taking up for a boy to whereas she was driving without a license. So they was going to take his car. And they was like, either we take your car or she got to go to jail. So young people, what do you do? I ain't got money to get the car out. I guess she probably said, I go to jail. The crazy part was it was over the holiday, over Thanksgiving. So it's like no judge was available to get out. By it being over Thanksgiving, it was kind of hard we just talked to her from jail on Thanksgiving. She got out that Monday. I was like, I hope you learned your lesson. I just remember getting her from the red line. They dropped her off, or she either caught the train, 95th and the red line. She was like, bro, you can pick me up from here. And we almost got into an altercation there. She was walking, I guess, or waiting for me. Some dude, he disrespected her or something, and she was kind of upset. So I was going to handle the dude, and she was like, nah, bro, that's okay. Let's just go home. She did get locked up over, the love of a guy. And I was like, come on now. Don't mess up your life over somebody else's. He could have got the car out. I know she ain't go down again. I know she didn't go back to jail again after that. So, yeah, it kind of changed her in that sense. And she started moving around a little bit more carefully. Yeah, it wasn't much of a major change. She just rethought about her, her actions. But for the most part, she was at home. And she'd invite friends over too. So the biggest thing is she thought she was always getting me when she invite friends over. Her thing was her friends would come over, they'd go in the basement, play music, have a good time. 10 o'clock come, hey bro, can so-and-so spend the night? Because it's too late to put on the bus and I know you tired, you gotta go to work. And I look at her, you know the rules. Which just means like clean up after yourself and keep the noise down. Yeah, I know y'all have a good time, but I gotta go to work in the morning. I gotta be at work at 7. And it was cool. But come to find out, some of her friends that she brought home or that she met along the way, some even from Job Corps, some of them didn't have places to go. Some of them was homeless. Some of them got kicked out by their parents or by their husbands. So it's like, she'll bring them there, make sure they took a shower, wash their clothes, and make sure they was good. I caught on to it, and I loved what she was doing, so I never stopped it. She always been good, and she know, like, I ain't like certain spirits in my house. As long as you're not disrespectful, as long as you ain't bringing no drama here, because where I lay my head at is a place of peace, so Rikia understood that. So she just kept on doing it. But with Rikia, it's like, I never knew. I just thought she used to just go out, have fun or whatever. Or always have somebody kids with her. Rikia had a bunch of kids. She ain't had no kids, but she had a bunch of kids. So always, she was always somebody's godmama. This my godson. Did you just bring another one? You cheating on your god kids, okay? Get it together. The kids would be like, yeah, Rikia cooked for us. I'm like, I don't see no food. Like, I never ate Rikia food, right? Never ate her cook. I'm like, you can't cook. I always looked at Rikia like a young person, like, you can't cook. One day she tricked me. I'm thinking like my mom or somebody made the food. So it looked good. It was smelling good. I'm like, okay. So they like, yo, play it in the microwave. Ate it. I was like, yo, this is good. Like, who made this? Everybody said, Rikia. I was like, and I looked like she just deceived me like, it's good though. It's good. So from that moment on, like whenever she cooked, I'd indulge in her food. I just thought like I never seen her cook.
What was like, I guess, her specialty? Did she have one?
I don't think she really had one. Rikia, she cooked some of everything. Yeah, you know what? I think she used to like to cook pork chops. I always heard about her pork chops, never tasted them. So it's like, ooh, Rikia used to come over here and cook these pork chops. I'm like, oh, really? She never cooked none at my house. So, but she made some of everything. She made steak. Like, we put a spin on noodles, When you got a big family and you trying to, like, feed them in a hurry, you get the ramen noodles. Like, bring out a couple of those packs, a little bit of hot sauce, take some turkey or ground beef, cook that up, mix it up. Boom, you got a meal. You know what I'm saying? So she put her spin on it, start adding like the bell peppers and all of that, made it a little bit more fire than what it was. So she just always upgraded the recipe or something. Add those eggs, you straight. Like, what? Like, this is a meal. Like, I used to hate to miss out on that because it was like always so good. Because the crazy part is, I couldn't eat regular noodles for a long time by themselves because, like, when I went to St. Louis, we ate it so much because my daddy would drop us off at our half siblings' house. And all they ate was, I just remember eating noodles and pancakes there. Nothing else. Maybe sometimes cereal on a good day. Or like you'll get a church's chicken drum leg or half a wing, or they'll break a breast up or a thigh up. Yeah, because it was like they'd be like, I'm like, dang, this just tickled me. Like, you just gonna give me a tickle of a piece of meat, but that was like special times right there. Other than that, it was noodles. So when I came back to Chicago, I was like, I'm not eating no more noodles. I hate noodles. But then we started adding the ground beef and stuff. I was like, noodles is fire again. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it took that. But I used to hate noodles. But she was always cooking.
And when she wasn't cooking, she enjoyed her time with her family, especially for the holidays.
Like literally every holiday. Rikia just enjoyed love. She enjoyed being around family. So anytime it's family, it's like she there. But I infamous, hey y'all, hey girl. Even talk to my nephew. She's always messing with him. Hey girl, you heard me talking to you. So any holiday, she could just be around family was her favorite one. If I had to pick one for, I don't think it was really a holiday. It was more so like our family reunions. I say around Christmas. Every kid, she loved to give. And I'm like, you ain't got no money. But it wasn't about that. Like, she'd create gifts. She'd make everybody feel special. And she just made sure everybody was happy, especially her nieces and nephews. She used to love my boys. Only had 2 at the time. She used to take them everywhere. Ever since they was able to walk, they potty trained, she with them. Even if they wasn't potty trained, she had have diapers with her. Those was her, what she call them, Buddha stinks. She had some weird little name or something for them. She, like I said, she always had nicknames. Somebody she called Butt and she always had nicknames. Like, she'd just come, hey, Scooter Butt, or hey, she'd just name them something different. So she loved being an auntie. You know what I mean? She loved being an auntie. Like, she took care of the kids like they was her own. She didn't mind watching them. She didn't mind taking them out. She didn't mind, like, feeding them or none of that. Like, that's why they was always with her. She used to take them everywhere. And we kids just used to be like, let me get $5. Somehow, with $5, she fed them. She got all of them on the bus. Got them where they need to be. And they'll come back like, yeah, we went to the park. She used to take us to go get something to eat from downtown. And we kids would be like, yeah, you got $5, and they'd just be gone for the whole day. At that time, she was taking about Brian, Angie, PJ, and Nuka. So she was only taking about 4 at the time. She'd take a little troop on a bus, and she only paying for herself. And then at the time, she probably was still using like the reduced pass, which was like 90 cents. So she made it work. Like, how? Like, she was just like Jesus. She was the woman Jesus. She took that $5 and made more. I don't know how she did it. It multiplied. Kid was a miracle worker. Sometimes, like, she just used to flirt and stuff, get her way. I remember going to a casino in St. Louis. So we all go downtown. The kid say, don't worry about me. Now, she ain't had no ID on her, none of that. And I think she was like 20. And she was like, don't worry about me. I'm going to get in. I'm like, you sure? I was like, here go the room key, just in case. 10, 15 minutes later. Hey, y'all. She in the casino. I said, I ain't going to even ask. I ain't going to even ask how you did it. With a drink in her hand. I said, she just had her way with words. It was her personality, just lit up the room.
Rikia was very outgoing, a great cook, and a miracle worker when it came to having adventures with her nieces and nephews on a $5 budget. But there was one thing that Rikia just could not do.
She tried to sing. Rikia had a horrible singing voice. I don't know if she did it on purpose. Like, it was just bad. Like, she would have got booed at the Apollo. But she had a song in her heart. You heard it. Like, you can hear the pain. Like, Rikia, I hear the pain. I don't know what you in pain from. That song, I think it was Keisha Cole. That love never knew what I was missing. Never knew what I was missing. But I knew what sweet Into when she did that oh, that was nasty. I know she broke somebody's windows next door, but that was her thing. She used to love to sing though. She was always into the music. Each song you could tell like what kind of mood she was in. If it was a sad song, her and her boyfriend got into it. If it's a happy song, they may be happy on good terms, or they may be feeling kind of good right now, or she's like in a good mood, or like if it's like, I don't know, just a average song, like, or a turn up song. Like she used to like OJ the Juice Man. Hey, okay. And there was one song she used to play, and I was like, ugh, and she didn't even listen to a lot of rap. But that dude right there, it was a song she used to play. I'm like, if you don't turn his voice down right now, you know, she used to love the Keisha Cole song. She loved R&B. She wrote hearts on everything. But I don't know what else she really did outside of that. I just know she used to love to be around family. She was a social butterfly. You know what I'm saying? She was the type, like, if we all went out and we just kicking it, you know, the kid be like, I'll be back, and come back 10 minutes. Like, these my friends, y'all. This so-and-so and so-and-so. Like, where you picking people up from? Like, who gave you permission? And who are y'all? Why did y'all follow her? You know, like, Rikia can go out and meet anybody and be in, like, good spirits with them. And that's the type of person she was. I don't really think she had like one particular hobby that I can pinpoint at this time, but she, like, being social, she had a skill in that. Rikia did have a special kind of energy, and I think like the people that didn't like her, which I've probably seen about 2 or 3 people that probably didn't like Rikia in their lifetime and wanted to fight her, but it was over something like, oh, my boyfriend like you, let's fight. You know, something silly like, okay, that's your boyfriend that like her, so why you want to fight her? But she gotta look ugly so he won't be attracted? Like, it was something silly that they didn't like her for, but Rikia was loved somewhere everywhere.
Rikia's love was something that helped Martinez through tough times.
I had a son born October of 2011. He was born with a bad heart. Well, his heart wasn't connected to push the blood through. So we went for heart surgery because they said he could either die in 3 weeks or about 3 or 4 weeks, we don't know, or we could try for surgery. Surgery was going to be successful, but they went in too many times, messing with his heart. He ended up dying because his heart came too scarred. Remember, Rikia came up and she just started crying, you know, holding him because, you know, we got to hold him and everything afterwards. Me and Rikia had a heart-to-heart. I'm sitting in the basement watching the Bulls game. Kid come down, say, hey, bro, what you doing? What it look like I'm doing, you know? And she like, started laughing, like, yeah, I know. You into your game, but I'm gonna make it quick. She said, bro, I just want to thank you for everything you ever did for me. Thank you for looking out for me. I know it don't seem like I'm listening to you, but I hear every word. I said, Rikia, I'm so tough on you because I had it tough out here. I know how tough it's been, and I just want to make sure y'all okay because I know I'm going to be okay. I don't want you to get killed out here. She said, I know, bro. She said, but I got a surprise for you. I got a big surprise for you. You're going to be so happy for me. She was like, I was like, yeah. She was like, I know you was going to say that. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Right, watch. You're going to be real happy for me. And we just ended up talking a little bit more. She started leaving out the basement. And she said, I love you, bro. I was like, I love you too. And she stopped. She looked back. She was like, ooh, I'm finna go tell everybody. Ooh, hey y'all, Martinez just said he loved me. She ran up the stairs. Like that right there, I always mess with her. She be like, I love you, bro. I be like, man, get out of here with all that soft stuff, man. Go on somewhere. And then she'd try to hug me and kiss on my cheek. And when I finally said that, she just stopped like, wait a minute. March 20th, 75 degrees in March. And everybody know that's like, what, in March in Chicago? Nah, you expecting a blizzard, a storm or something. But it's 75 degrees in March. So the park was full. It's like over 100 people in the park. Chilling, relaxing, everybody having a good time. Kicking it with friends. Her best friend was with her. And I remember talking to her. She was like, hey, bro, I'm going to spend a night at Ika house tonight. I'm like, all right, She's like, I'm going to see you in the morning. I was like, all right, for sure. Be careful. All right, bro, love you. I love you too. So I came in from a bike ride about 6:30 in the morning on March 21st. So coming from this bike ride, I was like, forget it. I felt good. I'm finna do some sit-ups, do some push-ups. I felt like Rocky. I'm going at it. And it's the story on TV, this doctor just talking. They just got this just playing on TV. 22-year-old woman shot in the head, 39-year-old man shot in the hand. So I kept seeing it, every channel. I'm like, Rikia 22. I called Rikia about 7-something. Hey, baby girl, hit me up when you get this. Let me know you good. Usually when I hit Rikia up, she'll hit me up like, hey, bro, I'm good. I'm still over here. I'll be home shortly. All right, cool. I never got that call.
Rikia's from the south side, south suburbs, and they decided they were hanging out in a park on the south side, and one of the guys, I guess he's from the west side, said, why don't we go to, what is now Douglas Park?
That's Krista Noel. She was first introduced to you in our previous episode on Betty Jones. Krista runs Women's All Points Bulletin, advocating to get justice for women who are victims of police violence. She joins Martinez to recount what happened to Rikia.
They went out to the park, and the girls and the boys split for a second because they had to go to the bathroom, and the boys were just hanging out. And then they got back together, and it was my understanding that there was a brief tete-a-tete about losing them, right? Because they got away from each other. But then they made up and they started walking, down the street to get some potato chips.
She came back and they ended up walking to the store because one of the dudes was like, I'm finna go get some cigarettes. So the dudes they was over there kicking it with, they ended up walking to the store. And then the officer, he stayed directly across the street from the park. So as they walking down the sidewalk, the officer comes out the alley. As the officer was coming out the alley, they was about to walk across the alley. So the officer raised his window down and had words with the group. What was said in particular, I don't know.
And here comes this cop talking about he went out to get a hamburger at 1 o'clock in the morning or went to take his garbage out. I don't know what story's real. And he gets in his car with a loaded weapon on his lap. And he's already called 911 about them because he heard the argument. They thought he was a white guy who thought either the girls were prostitutes and wanted to pick them up, or he was trying to buy drugs. Because he just comes creeping out the alley and he starts talking to him.
So he turned out the alley and stopped his car. And one of the guys that got shot that night, Antonio, he was like, man, what the fuck your crackhead ass want, man? I told you we don't got no drugs. We don't got nothing for your crackhead ass. Get out of here. He said he thought he was, like somebody looking to buy drugs. Next thing you know, window came down, gun came out the window, and he just started shooting.
I think he said something about the seatbelt coming across. He felt, something on his neck or something. And he got scared by a seatbelt. So he decided to shoot everybody, right?
Yeah, Antonio was actually on the phone at the time. He said he was talking to his friend in the park, his cousin. Said my cousin was telling me to give him some chips and stuff. I'm like, your fat ass don't need no chips and all this and that. So he say we going at it on the phone. That's when the officer pulls up, you know, and they exchange words. He's like, man, I ain't got no drugs for your crackhead ass. Get out of here. And that's when the officer started shooting. He shot Antonio in the hand and shot Rikia in the back of the head as she was running. Seeing a little video, of course, all the cameras all of a sudden don't work around there. But the police, they end up coming like 30 seconds after. And as they coming down the street, you see Antonio, you just see a white shirt with blood on it. Antonio. So he come up to the car, he point down the way, police, they ride down to where the officer was at. You see him about to get in the car. He turned around, look at the police car, grab his phone, act like he calling it in. They never detained him. They let him tamper with evidence because he shot inside the car. Like Antonio, like, man, I had the phone up to my ear. So when he let the shot go, you know, he was shooting for my face because the shot hit him in his hand. He was gunning for the head. Rikia, I don't think she was next to him, but she started running across the alley. Ika say me and her started running. She said, whenever we in danger, we always check for each other. Ika, you good? Rikia, you good? Whatever. She said, you know, I ran across the alley here behind the tree and I turned around looking for Rikia. And I called her name and then I looked down and she's laying in the alley.
Supposedly he shot 5 times. A bullet may have ricocheted off of a pole and hit his car. His own bullet may have ricocheted off the pole and hit his car.
I say about 10:30, I had like 2 detectives come up, knock on my door. Your name Martinez Sutton? I'm like, yeah. What's up? You got a sister named Rekia Boyd? I said, yeah. What's the problem? Well, your sister's been involved in a crime. I say, a crime? What'd she do? You know? Where she was at? Well, she's been shot in the head. Here's the hospital. That's the number. Sorry. They walked off my porch. So I'm like, I go back and I look at the TV and I'm like, nah, man, nah. So I call the hospital. Hey, my name is, Martinez. I'm looking for my sister. Is your mama still alive? I'm like, yeah, she is. Like, well, we need the parent to call. I said, man, you don't understand. My sister stays with me. I need to know if she's okay or not. And the lady's like, it don't look good. We need your mama here. And so my mom, she just left for work not too long ago. So she's like, so I call her. And that was like the hardest call I had to make. I say, Ma, I need you to go to the hospital. And she's like, what? I said, Ma, I need you to go to the hospital. And she's like, why? What happened? I was like, Rikia's been shot in the head. What? I said, Rikia's been shot in the head. And she was like, let me call you back. I sent her the name of the hospital and everything, which I know she take that route. Jumping in the truck, picked up my sister, picked up my grandma, had to clear my head along the way. Like, yeah, stop. I just took a deep breath, keep on going. And it was like there, we finally went up to go see her, speak with her, go see her. And a doctor came to me about 2-something that afternoon. He said, look, I'm going to be real with y'all. The injury is too great. The bullet passed through both portions of her brain, both halves of her brain. So she's going to be a vegetable. So we're going to give y'all 2 options. You can either pull the plug or you can take her home be in a hospital bed. She gonna need round-the-clock care, but she just gonna be there. But they said by midnight, all her brain activity gonna cease. I think at about 10 o'clock that night, her brain activity was no more. You just seen it just slowly just going down, you know? And I was like, wow. So, you know, my people, they stayed the night at the hospital. Everybody still got hope, you know? I think I went home about 3 a.m. He got up. I don't even think I went to sleep. Got up at 5, started calling news stations. Like, nah, this can't go down. Called every news station, but only 2 of them showed up, WGN, Channel 9, and Channel 7.
22-year-old Rekia Boyd was shot in the head. She hung on in critical condition, but was pronounced dead today at Mount Sinai Hospital.
The before picture of my sister. This is the after. All I want is justice.
Rikia's family gathered at the hospital today in a combination of grief and anger, wanting to know how this happened. Police have said they recovered no weapon from the scene.
How could this be justified? You took my sister away from me. Somebody tell me something.
That's it.
Antonio Cross is charged with 1 count of misdemeanor aggravated assault. He says he has no idea why. Meantime, Chicago police say they have reached out to and expressed their condolences to the family of Rekia Boyd.
I think we pulled the plug at 1 o'clock. Vital still ain't, her brain activity still cease. And you know, that's one of the things that don't regenerate. Once it go gray, it stays gray. One was like, I can't see my baby like that. Martinez, you gotta pull the plug. And that was the hardest thing to ever tell the doctor. You know, tell him to pull it. Stood in that room while all the life just went out of her body. Took like 13 minutes for all the vitals to stop. And I think that was the moment something inside me just sparked and that's when I started my fight for Rikia, to not only like have folks remember who she was or what she brought, but to also show the world what they done to this beautiful spirit. You know, and I never stopped fighting since. Every time I went to go talk about Rikia, it was more so like, what do you think about Trayvon? What do you think about, you know, this kid? But it was always, they always brought the male aspect of it. And I had to tell the reporters, look, I don't know about the families that you're talking about. I just know my heart goes out to them. So I can't really speak on these families. I'm here to talk about Rikia. If you want to talk about Rikia, well, let's talk. If not, I don't have nothing else to say to you. I said, but I'm up here to uplift my sister. They doves have nothing to do with hers. You know, and that's what I pushed everywhere I went. What you think about this person? What you think about that? I'm not here to talk about them because I don't know the case. I don't know what it is in depth. So I can say anything. But of course, I'm angry that all of them is going away over nothing. But at the same time, I'm here to talk about Rikia. If you don't want to talk about Rikia, I don't want to talk. That right there made me see like a bigger picture. To whereas I'm like, there's nobody out here protecting my sisters. They just letting my sisters be in, continuously being stripped away. There's nobody talking about them. I didn't know that many women got killed by the police. I didn't know that many women got assaulted by the police. I didn't know that many women been stripped away from their families because you do not hear about it. Why? Because they don't have no negative story to put to it. The media don't have nothing negative to push with it. So they don't want to talk about it because it's not really a story to them. But I always had to push her name.
Special thank you to the family of Rikia Boyd. We appreciate you for listening to Say Their Name, courtesy of DCP Entertainment. As well as special thanks to our team, host and executive producers Adele Coleman and myself, Chris Colbert, producers Heather Johnson, Ryan Woodhall, and Mike Dubose, associate producer Quentin Hill, and editor and sound designer Byron Hunt. Join us next week for part 2 on Rikia Boyd.
The judge cited, if anything, this was a murder. So it should have been charged as one. So first degree or second degree would have took them down. But by them downgrading to involuntary manslaughter, they knew exactly what they was doing. You know the crazy part? I met the officer face to face. I even went inside his house. It's like, wait, you Rikia's brother? And I was like, you know, you feel that anger, that pain, that frustration, you know? So I said, yeah. He said, can I get a hug?